fans. Welcome back in to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport. Got a big one lined up for you here tonight. History. We saw it. It happened. It was incredible. It was amazing. It was, of course, it was from the left dot on the power play. How else would it have happened? Alexander Ovechkin takes over. 8 truly is better than 99 at this point. Alex Ovechkin hits goal 895 in historic fashion over the weekend. We will react to that. And we've got help to do it along the way, too. It's not just myself and Zach. No. Glen from the Bold North Breakdown is going to be here as well to join us to talk all things NHL. We'll also play a special edition of Contender or Pretender with Glen here in honor of his Minnesota Wild. Are the Wild going to make the playoffs? Have we seen the last of the flower at this point? We'll be talking all that plus more. And then the Frozen Four, even into the college ranks. So much to do, so little time to do it. Buckle it on up, strap it down. Don't get checked into the boards. Protect that 5-hole. Let's have some fun, shall we? Let's go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back on into the Neutral Zone. I am your host, Adam Karnick. Got special guests along with us here tonight. Of course, Zach Puplis is here with us, but then also Glen Ritter of the Bold North Breakdown is going to join us as well on the show tonight. Lots to do, so we'll quick set the stage, get everybody in here. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Outstanding. Hey, Glen, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. It's fun to do a little 3-man weave tonight. I like it.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
It's going to be a lot of fun, lots to get to. Of course, we're going to be reacting to the biggest story in the hockey world from over the weekend. Alexander Ovechkin getting that goal number 895. We will react to it. We will respond to it. We will kind of see what life will be like now for the Capitals, now that everybody can kind of exhale a little bit. And oh yeah, there's this thing called the playoffs coming up for them too. How is that going to affect their playoff run? We'll get into that. Glen, since you cover the Minnesota Wild, we've got a special edition of our favorite game, Contender or Pretender, lined up as we try to decide just what exactly the Wild are as the Western Conference playoffs are getting finalized and set. And then the Frozen Four is coming up in just a couple of nights. We will get you set up for the stage for that. Lots to do, not a lot of time to do it. So let's have a quick word from our sponsors, and then we will dive right into it. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this. IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on Into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam, Zach, and Glenn back with you here tonight as we are very, very, very glad that you are here for a special historic edition of the Neutral Zone. Want to say thank you again to each one of our sponsors: Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, Vital Apparel, Seal the Deal Wax Seals, and also Raw Nutrition Supplements. Go to getrawnutrition.com. Use the promo code IESR for 10% off of your order there. You heard how to follow along with the station. You can also follow along with this show on Twitter. We are at IESR Neutral Zone. You can follow along with me personally. I am at Adam_Karnick. Zach is at the Pupless. And Glenn, where can everybody find you on Twitter?
So my X account is the Bold North Breakdown or Gritter 13 on X. That's my personal one.
There we go. All right. So thank you very much. So you can follow along with each and every one of us on social media. We keep you up to date and everything going there. And as well, you can, if you enjoy the show, you can join the supporters club for just $5 a month. We put out specially geared content just for you. You could reach out to us, let us know what it is that you're looking to talk about or debate about. We will make that available just for you as a way to say thank you for supporting this show and the station. Well, we always like to start off the show by looking at the games going on around the NHL. And tonight, even with as special as this weekend was, we still want to start off with that because there's lots of stuff involving the playoffs going on right now. So Zach, how about you get us caught up? What have we got going around the NHL tonight?
Yes, sir, Adam. We got Hurricanes and Sabres. Sabres are up 3-0 with 9:30 left to go in the third. The Red Wings and Canadiens are both tied at 1, 11:26 left to go in the third. Maple Leafs and Panthers at 1, 5:41 left in the third. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Devils and Bruins. Bruins are up 7-2, 8 minutes to go in third. Senators and Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets are up 4-1, just about 11 minutes to go in the third. Blackhawks are trailing the Penguins 4-0, just under 11 minutes to go in the third.
Knock me
Islanders
over
and Predators. Islanders lead that one 3-2. Right? Yeah. They lead that one 3-2. 13:04 to go in the second. Canucks and Stars. Stars are beating the snot out of them 3-0. 10:59 to go in the second. Kraken and the Utah Hockey Club. Utah leads that 1-0. 15:07 in the first, so just started a couple minutes ago. And still to come tonight, 9:30. We got Golden Knights and Avalanche from Ball Arena in Denver.
All right, so we got a little bit going on there. We were thinking that perhaps we would see the Devils clinch a postseason spot tonight. Looks like that's probably not going to happen, but let's face it. I mean, if we put this in baseball terms for a moment, the Devils' magic number is 1. They need a point between their final 4 games, or they need the Rangers to lose in any way, shape, form, or fashion over their final 5 games. And the Devils clinched that number 3 spot. So, all right, it's not going to happen tonight, but I'd say if you're in New Jersey, you can still, there's no need to panic. There's no need to panic there. You just wish it would have, happened tonight. There's always that side of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But let's get to the business at hand, shall we? It's not every week that we get to talk about some actual sports history that occurred. The Grade 8 chase. It has come to a conclusion. It looked like maybe it was going to happen Friday night. It this close to happening Friday night at home, the Capitals against the Blackhawks. Ovechkin had an opportunity on the power play, and one of the Blackhawks defenders inadvertently put it into his own net to prevent Ovechkin from scoring. The Blackhawks had an empty net, and Ovechkin refused to go out on the ice with the net empty, so he wouldn't get the record into an empty net. But then we did see it Sunday afternoon in New York against the Islanders in the second period, appropriately enough, from the left faceoff dot on the power play. Ovechkin created history, passing Wayne Gretzky. Glenn, what were some of your reactions to it? As I mean, the hockey world was just kind of exploding, and the game came to a pause there for a good solid 20, 25 minutes as everybody celebrated.
Well, it was insane. I mean, for me, I grew up watching Gretzky. I'm a little bit older than you guys, so I've been around a lot longer. And to me, Gretzky was always the greatest of all time, the greatest hockey player I had ever seen. So for Ovechkin to pass him in the same number of games played was astonishing to me. That just seemed so surreal to have that happen. And it, again, very fitting. That left face-off dot, where he camps out every single time when they get on the power play. It couldn't have been drawn up better in a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, my wife and I were watching Friday night, and he had two, and the Capitals got on the power play, and I just turned to my wife, and we were both. We realize he's not leaving the ice for the next 2 minutes, right? That it's just you're not going to be able to drag him from the off the ice on the power play at all. And Zach, you were asking last week, what happens if it's the empty net conundrum? We got our answer to that. How did you feel about that aspect of it from Friday night, and then it gets resolved on Sunday?
I'm glad there wasn't a disclaimer that they could put on this to discount such a record breaker.
Yeah, without question, it was a goal, an honest, legit, as drawn up as you could make it goal. I was thinking
to
about
get it past the fellow Russian and
oh, sorry, Zach, go ahead.
To get it past fellow Russian Ilya Sorokin, and now he's going to be the answer to a great trivia question as well.
And the funny thing about that was the first and so far only time that Ovechkin has beaten Sorokin.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, I'd heard that as well. That it was the first time that he had scored on him. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean it's
well.
If you're Sorokin, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that if you're Sorokin? Is it like, well, he only beat me once, but damn it, of all the times, it was
he'll never be forgotten.
That's exactly it.
He'll never be forgotten until the next guy breaks the title, the record.
This is true. This is very true. Yep, this is very true. He
didn't get any beers though. He didn't get any buds from Budweiser like you.
I was just going to ask about that. Did either of you guys see that? What Budweiser apparently did, the promotion they did afterwards?
No, I missed it.
I hadn't heard about it until you sent it to me.
Zach, go ahead. Let everybody know what happened. What wonderful trolling Budweiser did.
I had not heard about it until you sent it to me, but it sounds like what they did was they sent free beers to everybody that Ovechkin has not scored on.
all the goalies he faced that stoned him, that never gave one up, got beers from Budweiser. And I forget, one of them posted on social media afterwards, it was, well, this is crap. Had I known beer was going to be involved, I'd have tried harder.
Right? Yeah. Ah, shucks.
Wait a minute. But
they do realize they could drink beer from the Stanley Cup when they win it, right? Like,
oh, I think everybody does that. With the exception of my wife, she wants to do the world's biggest ice cream sundae. Everybody else is no, load that thing up, load that sucker up.
Right.
But it was very appropriate both Friday night and then Sunday afternoon. Gretzky was in the building for both of them. He had nothing but outstanding things to say about Ovechkin. He pointed out how when he broke the record, Gordie Howe was in the building at that time. And so it was, he was effectively, it was, there's nowhere else I should be, but right here. This is it. This is appropriate. The media actually interviewed Gretzky as soon as Ovechkin tied the record Friday night. There was a dog pile of media there was a media scrum around Gretzky, and they were interviewing him during the game, even at that point. But he was very gracious, very, very, very good with everybody. Nothing but nice things to say. Here we go from Larry. Oh, the Stanley Cup full of Guinness. Ooh. Nice. Oh man. Ooh.
Man after my own heart, Larry.
Yeah, I like the sounds of that. Ooh. All right, Larry, you got to go win us the Stanley Cup just so that we can experience this.
Right.
We got to get on this somehow.
Well, no, you're absolutely right. Gretzky on this article says, this was his quote, they say the records are made to be broken, but I'm not sure who's going to get more goals than that, Gretzky said before shaking Ovi's hand.
Well, I tell you what, I have a thought on that, and we can real quick go around the room and see what everybody thinks. Zach, if you were to guess anybody, who would you suspect? Is there anybody, any active player right now that you would suspect could touch that record?
Maybe Connor McDavid.
Ooh, I like that answer. Okay, Glenn, how about you?
Ooh, God, that wasn't something I'd ever thought about, but yeah, McDavid, I think, is probably the one. McKinnon, maybe, but I don't know if he doesn't really put up that many. He doesn't score quite like McDavid does.
Yeah, he's not the volume guy. He scores, but he's not the overwhelming volume guy. Gretzky, I loved this from Gretzky on Friday night. Ryan Leonard did score in the empty net for Washington, and that was his first NHL goal. He had, because just a week earlier he'd been playing for Boston in the NCAA tournament. So he scores his first goal, and Gretzky called him out in the locker room. Where was he? The kid that scored in the empty net. Come here. Shook his hand, introduced himself, and he patted his shoulder. He said, "Hey, you're only 894 away from breaking Ovechkin here."
Right.
You're only 894 away. But I saw this name get floated, and I love the thought. Austin Matthews for breaking it. If there's anybody that could,
possibly, I could see that maybe.
Yeah.
Because he's the one guy that you think about that it's just, my gosh, the pumping in the volume there for me, that's Matthews. But I like McDavid too. I like that thought too. That's a good, and let's face it, you're never going to come up with a situation where McDavid can't solve it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, McDavid, it's 1-on-5 plus a goalie. We're throwing an extra guy out there just for fun, and we need you to score. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
No problem.
Sure. No problem, coach. Send me in. All right. So the Capitals now. Oh, wait, we're having a fourth member of the team here.
Hey, shush.
I like it. We're trying. What does that translate? What player is getting named there? Do you think, Zach? I know you're the king. I know you're the cat guy.
He says, who's my new guy from Michigan State? Isaac Howard. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. I like that. All right. So now the Capitals are off now until Thursday. And as I say that, I realize, you know what? I should probably double check that. But that sounds right, because we had talked about that last week, that if it didn't happen this weekend, it was going to most likely happen on Thursday. Yes, yeah, because they take on the Hurricanes. So now what if you're Washington? Does this there was a feeling watching that game Sunday afternoon where it was just like, come on. You know what's going to happen. I mean, every time Ovechkin was out on the ice, everybody was holding their breath, getting excited. Come on, we want to see it. Now it's happened. They're in the hunt for the President's Trophy right now. Can they exhale, or is it, or are they in danger of just losing all their momentum as we're getting into the playoffs? Where are you guys at with that? Is this, because this is kind of a strange spot to be in as a franchise at this point now?
Yeah, I can see that.
Glenn, what do you think?
Yeah, so I think at some level they're going to be having that little bit of a exhale, taking a breath, like, okay, we got that part out of the way. Seeing that they're sitting at 107 points, 3 points behind Winnipeg, but they have a game in hand over Winnipeg. I don't know that they really care so much about having the President's Trophy. Maybe I think they're, any team should be more focused on the playoffs, making sure they're playing at their peak as they get into that last week of the season. 5 games left. I think they just got to focus on playing their game, and if it happens that they get the most, end up with the best record, so be it. But I think that they just have to focus, or I think they're probably going to take the approach of just, all right, that's out of the way. Any good team is going to do that. Okay, we celebrated it, put it behind us. Now who's up next?
Yeah. So Zach, I mean, technically Washington hasn't even clinched the Metro yet. Technically, they're 11 points up on Carolina. Carolina has one extra game to play at this point, though they're playing right now and losing to the Sabres, and they're going to lose to the Sabres. So as I do my math, that forces me to do math here real fast. I hate when that happens. So no, they will actually clinch the division right now, as Carolina is losing to Buffalo and is going to lose to Buffalo. So that will clinch the division. Whoop. He went to check the score and disappeared.
I was just looking at that. I mean, based on those scores, that's game number 77 for them, which means they got 5 games left, down by 11 points. Even if Washington loses out, they're not going to be able to overtake the Capitals. So
yeah,
got that number 1 seed locked up in the East.
Yeah, the math just isn't mathing there at that point. I mean, they could, if you care about such things, I think Toronto, point wise, could technically catch them. Toronto could catch them for that, but that only matters if you meet them in the Eastern Conference final at that point. And I don't know, how much stock you put into that, how much that matters. Certainly we have seen plenty of teams open on the road in the in the conference finals and come out victorious. So I don't know that that's going to be a deterrent or an issue for them.
Right. And in hockey, home ice advantage isn't really as big of a deal as it is in other sports. Like basketball, home court advantage is definitely a thing. Same thing with baseball, football as well. Hockey is a little bit different though, because we see so many upsets where road teams come in and don't get distracted by the fans.
Yeah, so. You play so many games on the road anyway. You're used to those atmospheres and everything there, and you get a goalie who stands on his head, and it doesn't matter what the environment is around him. If that goalie is on his game, there you go. So, yeah, I do think for the Capitals now, you can kind of exhale. I do think actually what we're going to see from them on the rest of the way out is actually a little bit of a renewed focus. It's going to be, hey, we got it. This is fantastic. Great. This monkey's off our back. Now let's just go play hockey, guys. We can just go play now. We don't have to, it doesn't have to be, make sure you get it to Ovechkin. Make sure it gets over to Ovechkin. We gotta get Ovi taken care of here. Not that Ovechkin was demanding that, not to put that on Ovechkin, but let's face it. Everybody wants to be part of history. Now you've done that. You've crossed that. You've crossed that Rubicon, if you will, and now you can focus on the rest of the task at hand. And I still am surprised at just how strong of a season the Capitals have had this year overall. They were the last dog in last year in the playoffs, and they got wrecked by the Rangers in that first round a year ago.
Well, especially with Ovechkin, having the broken leg, earlier in the season, he missed 16 games this year, and
yeah,
so to see them have that record with dealing with that injury is amazing. So, I don't know. I think playing well and feeding the puck to Ovechkin are going to be going hand in hand, right?
Yes.
There's a reason why, but that's part of the reason why they have the record that they do, is that they're getting the puck to the best player on their team.
It certainly makes sense. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's take for ourselves a quick little break here. And then when we come back, Glenn, we like to have some fun on this show, as you may or may not have noticed. We talk hockey, but at the same time, we're not afraid to wander off, and then so long we get back eventually. But we like to play games on this show. And we have one in particular that we really like, and we think this edition will suit you perfectly. We're going to play Contender or Pretender, featuring your Minnesota Wild next. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a fan of Minnesota sports? Do you love the Vikings and hate the Packers? Are you a fan of the Timberwolves, Twins, Wild, Lynx, St. Paul Saints? Here on the Bold North Breakdown, we'll talk about all of those professional teams as well as all the college teams in the area. That's your basketball teams, football, hockey, volleyball, men's and women's sports alike. We talk about them all here on the Bold North Breakdown. Join me, your host, Glen Ritter, every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central to discuss all that is happening in the Minnesota sports scene here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Glenn back with you. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with Zach, but we're working on getting him back into the show as well. So Glenn, as everybody just heard there, you are also the host of the Bold North Breakdown here on IE Sports Radio. You do an excellent job breaking down everything in Minnesota. It's not always the easiest job to do, but depending on the time of year, and if the Twins are playing the White Sox, then you've got 3 victories to be talking about.
Don't speak so fast there. The Twins have been quite disappointing for me, so I haven't been talking about them too much as the season has gotten underway, but that's okay because some of the other teams are a lot more active and having a little bit more success than the Twins have. So anyway, but
so I have to make a small aside real quick. My wife is originally from Minnesota, and her entire side of the family is over there. So I keep an eyeball on a lot of the Minnesota teams, and the Twins are like the one team that she has kept from there. All the others she's basically disavowed. She was a diehard, loved the North Stars, and a piece of her got ripped out when they moved down to Dallas. So she has very much disowned the Dallas Stars. And I asked her, well, how about the Wild? No. First of all, I wasn't there when they came around. Second of all, they're just pretending. That's not the team that's supposed to be there.
And to be honest, so there is a documentary that came out just maybe 3 or 4 months ago about the North Stars moving to Dallas and kind of the reasons behind that. And a lot of people were interviewed. I think Mike Madonna was one of the people that was interviewed. I watched it. It's on YouTube, so you can watch it for free. But it's a great thing to check out. She should definitely do that. And just for the record, Norm Green sucks. That's that's all Minnesota hockey fans still believe that wholeheartedly. So he is awful. So but you'll have to let me know where your wife's from in Minnesota. So but we don't have to.
Just south of the Twin Cities, just outside the Twin Cities area. So very, very much in that neck of
right in the metro area. Okay.
Yep.
Because I live in Eagan, which is 10 minutes south of the Mall of America. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a southern suburb as well. But
okay, yeah, a little further south, but yeah, that definitely that area. We have a ton of fun in that with that. Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. The fishing. Oh my goodness, the fishing is amazing. But anyhow.
Right.
So we love to play a game here on the show. We've done it for a few different teams, but since you were very nice to come on and be the third man or second man, depending on how things go. We're working on it with Zach. We're working on getting back in here with him. So we're working on getting the connection reestablished. But one of the things we like to do is play a game called Contender or Pretender. We started doing this as the playoff picture was really starting to set in, and we were starting to get an idea, and things were hustling and bustling and all that. The Wild are sitting just so right there on the precipice. As we come into play tonight, the Wild are sitting in the final wild card spot, appropriately enough, in the Western Conference, 4 points up on Calgary, but Calgary has a game to finish
They
up.
have a game in hand. Yep.
Yeah, a game in hand to help with that. So, in your estimation, and here's kind of how we'll phrase this. We'll start simply with do you believe they're going to make the playoffs? Are they going to be contending in the postseason, or are they going to be watching at home on television like the rest of us and pretending to be a playoff team here in about a week and a half?
All right. So, in my mind, I think they're going to make the playoffs. And that's maybe a little bit of a homer hat that I'm wearing, I guess. But the one thing that the Wild have gone through this year, which has been just awful to deal with, and it was par for the course last year as well, has been injuries. Kirill Kaprizov, he can't catch a break. He's only played in 37 games. Hopefully he's going to be back for the game on Wednesday at home against the Sharks. They do the 4 games left. They do have a game against Calgary. They have to win that one. It's in Calgary. I can't remember. Maybe it's Friday or
Friday. Yeah, Friday night.
Okay. They have to obviously win that one. But the one thing I want to point out is that the only reason the Wild are still in the playoff race is because of how well they started out the season. They started out the season 1-2. Kaprizov was a MVP candidate for the first month of the season. Even so, that was started 8-1-2 through November 1st. Through the end of November, they were still 16-4-5. And Kaprizov got injured right in that towards the end of that month. So they were at the top of the Western Conference at that time. So when healthy, they were playing really well. Philip Gustafsson was leading in goals against average and save percentage at that point in the season. We had, then we did also have, Spurgeon went down, Brodin got hurt. Just a number of other injuries. And then lately, the most recent one, who's also going to be coming back hopefully pretty soon, is Joel Eriksson Ek, who is a key guy for the team because he's excellent on the faceoffs. He's excellent on the penalty kill, which has been an issue for the team for the past couple of years. Has improved the last couple of months, even without Eriksson Ek. The penalty kill has been playing a lot better lately. Gustafsson, I think when he's on, is very good. So like the game against Dallas over the weekend was a huge win. Winning that game in overtime. What I was hoping for with all of these games is like, okay, just get to overtime, get a point. Just to try and limp through as much as they could. But I think that with the final 4 games left, they've got the Sharks, they've got Calgary, they got Vancouver, and then the Ducks. I think that they should be able to pick up at least 4 points during that time, which should be enough to hold Calgary at bay. I'm amazed at how well the Blues are playing. So that's been one of those things where just a week or two ago they had a 6-point lead, I think, over St. Louis, but they won 11 straight now. Is that where they're at for number of wins?
They've won 9 out of their last 10. Yeah, they have 18 points in their last 10 games.
I know, and at one point they had a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah.
So then they must have lost one and then started winning again.
Yeah, they're just the Blues just shot out of a cannon out of nowhere. Yeah, the big thing to me with the Wild, looking at it, you could have an easier schedule. You could just play the Ducks 4 times. You could just play the Blackhawks 4 times and have an easier schedule. But this really, to me, the remaining schedule is a huge thing in Minnesota's favor. A nice overtime win on Sunday too over the Stars. A big, getting that extra point on Sunday was huge for Minnesota. The Sharks on Wednesday, the Flames on Friday, followed by the Canucks on Saturday. Don't like the back-to-back there. All right. you're gonna use Fleury for one of those at least. I would imagine, and then you finish out at home against the Ducks on Tuesday night. Let's face it, that does bode really well for making it into the playoffs. Zach, where are you on the Wild on this? Are you a contender or a pretender with Minnesota at this point? Oh, and he may have frozen up. He may have frozen up. We'll reestablish there. I agree with you, Glenn. I do think that that at this point you're probably looking at the playoffs for the Wild as we're looking at it. The Flames, they tap out. They can maximize out. And I want to make sure that I'm not excluding a game going on right now as the Flames. So many games tonight. No, the Flames are not involved tonight. So the Flames can max out at 97. You win that game in Calgary on Friday. You pointed it out. You win that game and you're home sailing. You can do it without winning that game, but man, you gotta basically be perfect. You've got to basically win the other three if you lose that one to Calgary. That's gonna be a tough one. But you beat Calgary on Friday night, and you're doing yourselves a ton of favors there, because not only are you getting 2 points, you're denying them 2 points, and suddenly it's, oh hey, you just got to win one more. You just got to win one of the other three, and life is so much better for you. So yeah, I agree there with you on that. You take the game for you make your focus, make your emphasis be that game on Friday, and then it's gravy train from there, as I think we've reestablished with Zach. Zach, where are you on Minnesota? Are you a contender or pretender with the Wild right now?
I'm sorry, what's going on with the internet, but I'm glad. I think they're at least going to make the playoffs. They're sitting with 91 points. They just got to hold off Calgary, who's got 87. It seems like they're kind of hot on their heels. Plus, they got a game coming up. But in terms of the playoffs, they'll get there, but I think they're pretender when they get there. I kind of need to see it before I can believe it at this point. Because they've made it every single year. It seems like the last half decade, at least, if not more. And they may win the first round, maybe second round. They pay for that. It seems like we're getting actual conference finals. So we'll see.
Yeah, for me, I don't. Even if they get in, the big thing is going to be these next few games, seeing how well Kaprizov plays when he gets back, and Eriksson Ek. If those two guys are healthy and able to fully contribute like they were before they got injured, then I think they could be a pesky team for the Oilers, who I think are the
Vegas. That's the thing. You make the playoffs. Congratulations, you get Vegas in the first round.
Actually,
I'm sorry. No, it would be Winnipeg. I'm sorry.
Winnipeg. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Winnipeg. Yeah, even better. Yeah, congratulations. Right. You get arguably the toughest goalie in the NHL. Congratulations.
Exactly, and and as a Wild fan. Actually, they did miss the playoffs last year, I believe, just with all of their injuries and things like that. But they haven't made it out of the first round since before COVID. So I don't see them advancing again. They're still dealing with that the cap hit that's associated with the Parisi and Suter contracts of $15 million. So they've got $15 million less in player salaries than pretty much any other team in the league. So battling against that, you just can't deal with injuries that the way that they've had to and be successful. It's a lot to overcome, but who knows? Well, stranger things happen. Philip Gustafsson is he can be a very, very good goalie. Like you mentioned, goalie stands on their head for a series and they can move on. But whether they do that against the Jets is going to be a tall task. Just getting in is going to be the right step in the right direction, I guess.
Meanwhile, Larry's over here in the chat, just trying to stir the pot. I'm seeing him just stirring a cauldron, just waiting for me to get to this. Bringing up a few years ago when the Central was just Blackhawks wild, Blackhawks wild, Blackhawks wild, Blackhawks wild. Yeah, I mean, I try not to go back to, the 2013 and 2015 days, if for no other reason than that was a decade plus ago. And I don't want to seem like I'm completely stuck in the past. I'm a Chicago fan, so I've got that working against me right out of the gate. But yes, there were some fun battles between the Wild and the Hawks there for a few years there in the Central. The Hawks did kind of seem to get the better end of them more often than not, but I promise I'm not going to bring that up too much.
Although I think back to when it was the North Stars against the Blackhawks, they had some historic battles, and mainly in a physical way. I mean, like there would be so many fights and things like that taking place between those two teams. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah, that old Norris division. I mean, that was like so many of the other divisions involving Chicago and Minnesota. Black and blue, you're in for a penny, in for a pounding when those two teams get involved. Yeah, Larry's patting himself on the back now. Job well done. Good job, Larry. You got us to do it. And Brian, meanwhile, is remembering the Bruins playoff streaks. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to happen this year for the Bruins. They just fell off the face of the earth, but that's all right. They'll be back eventually. Sometime.
Just a couple of years ago, number one team in the league.
They were, and then they forgot to play a series they forgot to show up in a series against Florida, and it's been all downhill ever since.
Sorry, Brian.
That's one of Zach's favorite things to bring up is that Florida Panthers just shooting out of nowhere. Oh, go right ahead, Zach.
Here, can I make a point on that, actually?
Yes.
Well, here, if you want to just get Larry back, all you got to do is just point out the E next to the Ducks name.
Oh, he already see. That's the thing with Larry. He already does that for himself. Is the thing. I just didn't bother to put it up there. But oh yeah, he before we even started the segment, Contender or Pretender, Ducks, just end the season now. Just be done. Just be done with it all. Oh yeah, nobody roasts his own teams harder than Larry. He will attack his own teams with a vengeance.
Right.
All right.
Well, and there's no greater joy for me, I mean, other than maybe winning the cup, but seeing the little E next to the Bruins logo as well.
I will say there is a slight bit of satisfaction there. I will admit that there is something, but Marchand's not there anymore though. That's the thing is we got to refocus that now down further south. So we got to, it's that, oh yes, they're eliminated. Wait, Marchand's not there anymore. Dang it. Curses, he escaped. He escaped. He got out right before it. That's all right. They'll get him.
And that same thing can be set up for the Capitals too. Like same thing can be said for the Capitals too. Just because you win the President's Trophy doesn't guarantee you winning the Stanley Cup. So, I mean, okay, you got the fanfare aside, you got the whole Ovechkin thing out of the way. Okay, now just get back to the plan. Just back underground in your tunnel, into your submarine, whatever, and plow on through to the playoffs. And and keep going. Just because you win the President's Trophy doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, very, 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 very true indeed. All right, we are going to take for ourselves one more quick break, and we're going to go talk some college hockey if we can, because the Frozen Four is just less than 48 hours away. We've got another great tournament. I know we had the basketball one that finished up last night. That was a good one. There's still good collegiate sports to wrap up the winter season here. We're going to talk Frozen Four next here on the Neutral Zone. Adam, Zach, and Glenn in with us tonight. We'll be right back after this.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter at any time. Be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam, Zach, and Glenn back with you here. We got one more segment. We got one more little bit of business that we've got to talk about here on the show tonight. The Frozen Four in men's hockey. It is the matchup that I don't know that any of us necessarily saw coming from the Frozen Four. We Glenn, to be brutally honest, both of our schools that we picked to make it to the championship game got knocked out in the first round. So we were feeling really good and confident about ourselves after that. But we've got, you know, it is a unique setup. It is a unique four schools that we've got here. On the one hand, we've got Denver versus Western Michigan, and then we've got Boston U versus Penn State. So we've got we've got two schools that absolutely we're used to seeing make it to that are definitely no strangers to this stage, that are definitely, you talk about them in college hockey. And then we have two schools that literally this is the first time they've ever made it here. So it is a super unique, super unusual Frozen Four that we've got lined up for ourselves down in St. Louis here. Gonna be a really, really interesting one as we get going. The first game drops the puck. Denver versus Western Michigan, Thursday afternoon, 5:00 Eastern time. So let's start with this one, guys. Denver versus Western Michigan. Zach, I know for us, this can be a little bit of a homer game, both being, guys from that section of the map, that southwestern Michigan section of the map there. But what are your thoughts as we look at this one, Denver versus Western Michigan, the Broncos, Pioneers Broncos?
For sure. So yes, it's Western's very first time making the Frozen Four. Denver's 19th, and they're going for, or no, I think they have a record 10 national titles. So yeah, it's definitely experience versus inexperience, but they are also in the same conference. They're NCHC rivals. With Western actually beating Denver to get into the tournament, to win the conference tournament, to get into the NCAAs. So familiarity breeds contempt, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, Denver definitely has more experience come tournament time, but if you're talking more recent wins and looking at the scoreboard, Western won the most recent matchup.
Yeah, and Western has all season long has been the highest scoring team in collegiate hockey. They've led everybody there. They are definitely a high scoring team. In that, I'm looking up the scores from this season real quick between the two to make sure that I had it correct. And Denver's given me an awesome job of all the full history, but there we go. Western won the most recent one, as you mentioned, but that was a double overtime game up in Glen's neck of the woods at the XL Energy Center for the conference championship. Western has won 3 out of the last 4 meetings in this rivalry. That dates back to including last season. This season, it is Western has taken 2 out of the 3 meetings this season, but you include last season, Western's taken 3 out of the last 4.
But they do always say, hey, it's hard to beat the same team like 3 times and 4 times in one season.
Exactly. Just because you beat them last time doesn't mean you can beat them. You could beat them the next go around. Glenn, you got anything on this one?
Just look at Michigan last year.
Yeah, I guess I was going to say, Western Michigan had a really tough, first match of the playoffs here, going against Minnesota State Mankato. Mankato took them to double overtime, and Western Michigan was able to get a 2-1 victory there. So they've been tested. I know that. I think going into that one, I think I was doing a show that night, and actually my son was he was watching the game on the TV, and we could see his disappointment on the show if you were watching when Mankato, because he goes to school in Mankato, so he's taking photos there, and he's definitely a huge Mavericks fan. So. And I think going into that game, Western Michigan was the highest scoring team in the tournament, and Mankato had the best goals against average. So it was a kind of clash of of the Titans. Irresistible object. whatever the saying goes. You know
However
what I
that
mean?
goes, yeah.
Right. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, so so they did eke out that victory, and then Minnesota, obviously the Gophers lost to Massachusetts, UMass, kind of in an overtime game that really should have been a penalty called there, but that's all right. I digress there. There you go Mavericks. All right. Anyway, but again, Denver's got the experience. I'm really interested in watching Zeev William, Minnesota Wild prospect. So I want to see him go as far as he can. I know they won the championship last year, but so if they could pull out the victory again, get the national championship again, that would be great. On a Minnesota Wild perspective, if they would get balanced, then maybe he can get signed and he can join the team like Brock Faber did a couple of years ago and jump straight to the NHL.
There you go.
It'd be a nice defensive partner with Faber.
Absolutely. Yeah. For the record, I had Minnesota State not just beating Western. Zach will correct me if I get this wrong. I had them making it to the Frozen Four. I thought that it was, you go with the goal. Don't go with the offense. You go with the goalies. That's what you do when you get to these kinds of things. And then Western went and, shot that right down.
Yeah. Although, my son was
you had regular Minnesota.
There was I think the winning goal, I think some of the Mavericks players ended up going into Alex Tracy, who's the goaltender, Hobie Baker finalist, that was kind of carrying the team all year. And so he got interfered with by his teammates, and the puck went in the net. So
a hard way to lose. Well, let's switch over. So when that game gets done, we then get Boston U versus Penn State in the other semifinal. Again, tried and true, a regular here at this event versus a school that literally has never been here before. Zach, what are you thinking as we get ready for this matchup? What are you kind of looking for on this one? Oh, Zach, did we lose you, or are you still there?
Sorry, noisy cat.
That'll do it. That'll do it. What are you expecting from Penn State and Boston?
Again, it's experience versus inexperience. Penn State, it's their first time in the tournament, or first time in the Frozen Four. They've only had a program for like 10 years. So it's incredible that they've made it this far already. And then for Boston.
We lost Zach. Well, for Boston, this is time 25, time 26 that they've made it in the Frozen Four. Absolutely used to the experience here.
Well, and going into the tournament, if you would have said that there's going to be a Big Ten team in the Frozen Four between Penn State, Michigan State, and Minnesota, which team would you think was going to be there?
Mm-hmm.
Penn State was pretty far. It's 1, 2, and then Penn State down at the bottom.
Yeah, with a good gap in between the two. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we both had Michigan State making it in here. I actually did. I just, for whatever reason, I decided to throw Penn State in there. But yeah, it was definitely a surprise to see the Nittany Lions make it. There we go. As we're reconnected with Zach. But yeah, Zach, we were hearing you point out how for Penn State it's their first time. Meanwhile, for Boston University, this is time 25 or 26 that they've made it in.
Yeah, this
Zach,
is the third straight season. It's their 25th overall, I guess 26 now. Can you hear me?
Yep. We got you.
Okay, sorry. Third straight season getting to the Frozen Four, 25th overall. They're the experienced team coming in. They really beat up on another big one against Ohio State, and then finishing off with beating Cornell to get to the Frozen Four. I want to root Big Ten, but I think Boston's just got too much experience.
Yeah, yeah. Glenn, where are you on this one?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, Boston is, like Brian mentioned, they've never missed the Frozen Four as a player and coach. So, and this is their 25th Frozen Four. That's, I mean, yeah, you got to bet on the experience there. I think that they're going to be able to pull out a victory, even though, again, I would like, having a Big Ten team probably would have been kind of cool, but Boston, I think, is just they're gonna be able to handle Penn State.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Boston U is just too strong. Incredible accomplishment for Penn State to make it here, but I think that Boston's going to be just a little too much to overcome. Well, let's go around the room, and what's going to be your championship matchup, and who do you see winning it? Zach, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think there were more Cinderellas in the hockey tournament than there were in the basketball tournament this year. But wouldn't it be wild? Just throwing it out there. Wouldn't it be wild if the first timers both want to play each other in the final? That would be crazy.
I'd love it.
But what's that?
I'd love it if it happened. Sign me up. I love a good story like that. It writes itself.
Right. I'm gonna say I'm gonna root Homer. I'm gonna go Western, but then I'm gonna go with experience, and I'm gonna say Boston U. And I'm gonna say Boston U wins. Boston U wins 5-2.
All right, Glenn, how about you?
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about it. I would say I'm very, I do think the Cinderella angle would be fantastic. But this isn't fairy tale, so I think it's going to be Denver against Boston, with Boston winning the title. I think it's probably going to be a little bit closer, maybe a 4-3 game, 4-2, something like that.
I like that. I'm actually just because I'm going to let my heart win out a little bit here, and I'd love to see a first timer. I'm also going to go with Boston U versus Western Michigan in the title game. The experience, though, for Boston U, it's just too much to overcome. That it's a great run for Cinderella, but the glass slipper is not going to fit. And I do see it being a bit of a barn burner. I'm going to go with a final score of 5-4. Boston wins in the championship. Well, Glenn, this was a ton of fun. Thank you for hopping in and sitting in with us. And we got to do a little 3-man weave throughout the show tonight. I really, really appreciate that. We had a ton of fun.
Thanks. It was awesome to be on here. Thanks so much for the invite. Definitely would do this again if you need. Give me a call whenever throw up the bat signal or whatever. Whenever the need arises, I'll help you out.
Careful, we'll take you up on that. I'll warn you right now. And Zach, you're always here, so you know.
Yeah. Great hanging out with you guys. It was a lot of fun.
All right.
You too. Thanks for coming.
With that. With that, we shall sound the horn on this show. Ton of fun. Really enjoyed it. Shout out, of course, to each and every one of our sponsors. Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. Vital Apparel, the brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Go to vitalapparel.com, put in the promo code IESR, get 15% off of your order. Seal the Deal Wax Seals, we've all got to send out mail, we've all got to make stamps, all those fun things. May as well personalize it and have some fun with it there. Go to iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals to place your order there. Personalized, stylized, everybody will know that it is coming from you. Thank you to Raw Nutrition Supplements. Go to getrawnutrition.com. You're getting new workout apparel. You may as well maximize that workout. Go to getrawnutrition.com. Use the promo code IESR. Get 10% off of your order there. And of course, thank you to IE Sports Radio for providing the platform for this crazy thing that we call a show that we do every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, and adjusted appropriately for everywhere else. Thank you to all 173 people that were watching the show tonight live across YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Thank you to everybody that listens to the show as a playback on Spreaker, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, everywhere there. Thank you. We are humbled and appreciate you guys doing that. Glenn, where do we find you guys regularly with the Bold North Breakdown?
All right, yeah, the Bold North Breakdown takes place Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Central. Right here on X, Twitter, YouTube, all the same spots. Yeah, that's where you can check me out. 7 o'clock every Thursday night. Talk Minnesota sports. We'd love to have you all here.
Sounds great. Zach, what do we tell the people before we leave?
Yeah, the board. Don't just check or still penalty box. Don't check the board. Go along.
Sounds good to me. We will see you right back here same time next week. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, guys.